up to 3 times more that can be able to access. And then when we come to registration and being able to access services in higher levels of care, we are looking to ensure that there's improved contribution.
Meanwhile, the Council of Governors Health Committee Chairperson Muthomi Njuki wants private hospitals to be patient with the government as he implores them to drop their strike and continue engaging on the pending payments. Governor Njuki says even county-run health facilities are undergoing the same challenges, but have not thrown in the towel despite the challenges being faced now. The governor, who spoke in Naivasha at an ongoing county executive committee members of health meeting, says there were huge debts owed to both private and public facilities, but that should not be the reason for patients to be abandoned at a time of need. Responding to RUFA, who have been on strike, Governor Njuki says talks remained the key to unlocking the impending issues.
We have refused to let the NHF rest in peace because it still has debt obligations. Therefore, many of us, and when I say us, I mean Kenyans, including the private hospitals, have been praying for it not to completely die. Because, sometimes you can go for a funeral and when people are crying, you are just complaining, how can this guy die with my debt? When people are mourning, you are wondering, how will I get my money back? That is where we are with most facilities who are owed money by NHF. In fact, we are one of those people, the 47 counties. We were owed 12 million. The NHF proposed that they have paid and they are now at 9 million. But when you talk to counties, when we take the debt obligations they have, we are still around between 10 and 12 million. Billion that we are owed by SHA. Yet, we are still providing services without downing our tools. In fact, you look at 12 billion in public sector. And in public sector, for you to accumulate debt of 12 billion, if you have in mind what we normally charge in our facilities, minimum, the claim that we normally make, as compared to the health sector, the private sector, who say they are owed, is it 22 billion? Around 22 billion. The most aggrieved in all sense should be the public sector. Yet, we are still providing services despite this debt. Some of them will tell you it's because we are still financed by Exchequer, but you can't tell those people who are seated here that because you know how much you struggle to raise your own source, even from those hospitals.
Yeah, actually, I think the private facilities, the government should pay the money it owes, definitely, because they should have foreseen this happening when they were moving from NHIF to the new system, that they owed people money. How are they going to pay it? This should have been one of the things that was put into place so that we avoid the kind of things we're experiencing now. They gotta pay. Now, unfortunately, the drama that had been very entertaining, let me say this, it's one of those things that have been very entertaining in the city center, in the city that does not lack drama. The drama or the love-hate relationship between the Nairobi County government and the Kenya Power, which agreed to end their long-running dispute following a high-level meeting convened by the head of Public Service, Felix Koskei. The meeting, which brought together Nairobi Governor Johnson Sakaja and Energy Cabinet Secretary Opiyo Wandayi, sought to settle commercial dispute between the two entities, emanating from 4.9 billion shillings in unpaid waylaid fees owed to the county by Kenya Power. Speaking to the press outside City Hall, Sakaja explained how the situation unfolded and led to a tense relationship between the two entities.
we agreed that those commercial disputes, us saying you owe us this, them saying you owe us this, are going to be resolved between myself and the Cabinet Secretary for Energy and Petroleum, Opio Wandai. And if need be, the Intergovernmental Technical Relations Committee will also come, to resolve that. The law is clear that this ICT infrastructure on whale leaves are supposed to be paid to the county. What happened is at some point, Kenya Power offered them their backbone for them to put on top, and they pay Kenya Power, but they don't pay us. We've also spoken to the ISPs and the telcos yesterday. We're going to be meeting them to also tell them how they can be further compliant, because they want to just provide a service. And it's unfortunate, when you disconnect the internet, there are businesses, there's even schools that are connected to fiber and they don't get access. It's really unfortunate. It's nothing that we like to do.
So that drama has come to an end. Watu walipane deni. Now, former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has challenged former Prime Minister Raila Odinga to declare his political stand just a day after the former Premier met President William Ruto at State House, Mombasa, and announced that he would consult his supporters before outlining his political roadmap.
Hatumwelewi Raila Odinga, na nimesema juzi nilikuwa na interview. Hatujui vile anataka. Na tunangojea atoe msimamo ndio tujue vile tutakaa na yeye. Kama ataamua kuchafua legacy yake ya miaka hii yote na kuunga Rais William Ruto mkono, hiyo ni haki yake. Na sisi hatuwezi mzuia. Lakini hiyo haina shida yote. Kwa sababu zile kura alikuwa nazo, ndani yake iko kura mingi sana ya Kalonzo Musyoka. Hiyo itakuwa imeondoka. Pale Kisii imeondoka. Pale kwa Mlima alikuwa na kura 1.1 imeondoka. Kwa hivyo hakuna kitu kubwa sana atapelekea Rais William Ruto. Number 2, huyu Rais William Ruto amewachwa na kila mtu. Kanisa ambaye ziliunga yeye mkono zimemuondokea. Watu ya Mlima tuliunga yeye mkono 3.5 million tumeondoka. Watu wako na payslip. Hao wafanyikazi wote wakiwemo nyinyi wanalalamika sana. Kila mtu ya payslip na payslip holders ni karibu 3.5 million wamemuondokea rais. Hii watoto wetu wa Gen Z ambayo watachukua kura karibu 9 million hawako na yeye.
Well, the former deputy president always has some interesting things to say. Some I agree with, some I don't agree with, but all the same very interesting. Now, Catherine Akinyi, 12 years old, a grade 4 pupil at Kayeye Primary School, went out with a group of friends on Friday, the 9th, to watch a local football match at a neighboring school. Now, when evening came and the other children returned home, she was nowhere to be seen, prompting her parents to begin searching for her among relatives and friends, but without success. Now, the family later discovered the body of their missing child abandoned in a thicket just a few meters from their home. Jerry Oduol, the father to the minor, said the body was in terrible condition, with the limbs dismembered and some parts allegedly eaten by dogs.
Ile nguo alikuwa amevaa ilikuwa ni hapa. Mama yao ndiye alikuwa amevaa yao wakati mwingine ya Christmas moja. Kuenda kule nikapata sweta yake. Na hizo ndio ilifanya nijue ni yeye.
Huyu mtoto mwenye aliuawa ama aliokotwa kama ameuawa kichakani ni mtoto wa dada yangu. Mimi ninahuzunika kabisa kwa kitendo kama hichi na ninakilani kwa njia ya juu sana. Tena ninaomba serikali waingilie kati kusaidia familia kupata haki yao. Haswa wale wauaji wa huyu mtoto, ningeomba kama tutasikia serikali wamewafikia na wamewanasa, wametiwa mbaroni.
Huyo mtoto mwenye alipotea mwenye anaitwa Catherine Akinyi ni dada yangu, na nilipata ripoti yake tarehe 6 nikiwa nyumbani kwangu ati amepotea. Babangu aliniuliza kwa ajili huwa anakuwa mtoto upande wangu sana. Aliniuliza Kathi ni kama amepotea hapa jioni, alitoka kitu kama saa 11 akielekea Nyagondo kuona mpira. Ilikuwa na huzuni sana, kama mtoto wa miaka 12 peke yake anaweza uliwa kama umbo mpaka ache kichakani. Amebaki mafupa, ilinishinda hata vile niongee. Ndio walijaribu vile wanaweza, wakatukatoa body, nikapeleka na babangu Siaya. Sasa mimi kenye naweza omba kwa serikali, hao vijana wanatembea tembea na wanaongea na watoto wadogo wenye bado hawajiwezi, waangalie vile wanaweza fanya. Tunataka justice, watusaidie kwa ajili si kitu mzuri. Ujui ya kesho tena watachukua mtoto mgani na watamchukulia wapi?
Now, why in the world would any people are demon possessed? That's what I've come to realize. And you know what the scripture says, that the evil one comes to steal, kill, and destroy. And when a person is demon possessed or has a demon, they also take on the objectives of the devil. They just want to steal, kill, and destroy. So anytime you see people stealing, killing, or destroying, they're just doing what their father does. They are of their father, the devil, and his desires they want to do. That's what Jesus said. So it's a very unfortunate thing that somebody would do this, put a child through this kind of thing, or any other person for that matter. But anyway, time is coming, people will pay. Now, the Speaker of the National Assembly, Moses Wetangula, led a delegation of members of Parliament in visiting the Nairobi home of former Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission Chairperson Wafula Chebukati to offer their heartfelt condolences to his family following his passing. Chebukati, who played a pivotal role in shaping Kenya's electoral landscape, having presided over 3 elections, including the repeat 2017 presidential election, was widely respected for his unwavering fidelity to the Constitution, the rule of law, and the democratic principles. His legacy remains firmly etched in the country's history. During the visit, Speaker Wetangula paid tribute to Chebukati's leadership, emphasizing the weight of the responsibility he carried as the head of the country's electoral body.
The calling of his office made him realize that the discharge of his duty was not physical. It was legal, it was intellectual, it was constitutional. And he left it there. That is the good man that we are seeing off very soon.
Ambaye naongelewa Mheshimiwa Bukosa aliongelea, sisi kutafuta upape kwa matanga. Hii kitu tuachane nayo. Tuwe watu ambaye tunaheshimika kama wabunge.
You know, it's very unfortunate that people became so insensitive and started, celebrating his death. I keep on saying, the guy has a family, and just because you didn't agree with him in the way he conducted the election, or because you believe that your candidate lost because of Chebukati, it's not right to celebrate. Remember, he's got a family. You got to be tender-hearted for his family's sake. Now, CS Interior Kipchumba Murkomen held a meeting yesterday with the Chief Justice and President of the Supreme Court of Kenya, Martha Koome. The discussion centered on collaboration on the implementation of instant traffic fines to improve safety on the roads and decongest the courts. The CS also appraised the CJ on the steps the ministry is taken to strengthen the Judiciary Police Service Unit.
Yeah, that is true.
All right, let's take a look at the newspapers. And the Daily Nation screams out Ruto's battlefronts. And it has some interesting pictures. President William Ruto is entangled in many battles that could derail the implementation of his pet projects and pit Kenya against its neighbors, even as he continues to face political rebellion fueled by his impeached former deputy, Rigathi Gachagua. Kenya to sign trade facilitation deal with Somalia. Kenya and Somalia discussing a trade facilitation agreement meant to eliminate irregular non-tariff barriers between the neighboring countries at the Somali-Kenya Trade Week that opened yesterday. State defunds HIV/AIDS, TB amid U.S. assistance freeze. So the government has stopped funding HIV and AIDS and TB. And then on page 3, we have ministry hospitals feud over 20 billion difference in bill. And as they feud, the mwananchi is suffering. So it's important they agree on this, or they agree to provide service as they sort out their mess. Gachagua now hints at taking on Ruto in 2027. Now, I don't think he should do that. My own thoughts. I think Gachagua should not go for the presidency. He should support somebody. He should become a kingmaker. That's the only way, I don't think we should have him as president. He's probably better somewhere, but not as president, if you get my drift. I'd rather he support somebody. Matiang'i comes, he supports Matiang'i, or supports Kalonzo, or supports somebody else, but not him being the president. But having Rigathi Gachagua as your deputy president is a tough nut to crack. Yeah? Tough nut to crack. At the back page, uncertainty surrounds new varsity admissions. Apex Court judges get temporary relief as JSC halts removal process. Then we got garbage governor, Sakaja. His boys basically dumped garbage at KPLC Steamer Plaza. Maybe when City Hall does not collect garbage in your area, maybe one of the things you can do as a way of teaching them a lesson is collecting garbage and going to dump it outside the governor's office. He has shown us how to deal with some of these things. Nairobi County Boss Sakaja did the unthinkable when he chose to settle a score with Kenya Power using trash and sewage. Leaders have condemned the act, with Parliament calling for the arrest and prosecution of those culpable. Officers left in the dark as plan to change police uniform stalls. We've now gotten used to these uniforms. Uniforms. We've gotten used to them. As ugly as they look, we've gotten used to them. Just let them be. Let the police officers work. The uniforms do not either improve or deter their ability to work. What's in the history of uniform? It's just money that is going to be stolen. Right now, we are not interested in spending billions to change police uniforms. Hey. All right, this is interesting. GK Prisons Committee, tired of being starved for love, inmates demand conjugal rights. Ayapana. When you go to prison, the thing that makes prison is the fact that your rights are denied. Now, Prisoners are demanding rights. They've denied other people their rights. Like now, there's a story by the way that is very disturbing. You know Cusco. Cusco is the main body for SACCOs. So SACCOs find a way of saving with Cusco. It's like reinsurance plaza. Insurance is, oh, not plaza, reinsurance. What insurance take money and they insure themselves with the reinsurance and that kind of stuff. So Cusco is the mother union of the SACCOs. So there are officials in Cusco who've misappropriated over 13 billion shillings belonging to SACCOs. And now what is happening is that SACCOs like the police, I think STIMA is there, a number of those major SACCOs where members have been doing everything right. Now they've lost their money at Cusco because some individuals decided they are going to pay themselves and they've misappropriated 13-point-something billion shillings. Now members of the SACCOs who fall under the umbrella of Cusco are suffering. I don't think, and these guys have gone to court and they've been allowed to operate freely on bail. Now, it becomes very unfortunate when your actions affect the lives of millions of people. I mean, stern action should be taken against these guys. I think they should be put in the jail, their properties confiscated and sold to recover the money, and the guys spend time in prison. In the back page of the Standard, Kenyans keen to lay down early marker in marathon majors. And then we got the Star newspaper, payslip crisis, report Bay layer, family's income mess. And all this is because of the taxation that is being done. It says many people are taking home less than a third of their pay. Auditor exposes rampant tribal hiring in ex-DP Gachagwa's office. Mona dead, 24 hurt in Homa Bay accident. And then we got what? Wetangula off the hook in House leadership fiasco. Audit report exposes tribal hiring at Gachagwa's office. And then we have Orengo, defender of widows' rights. State to pay private hospitals NHIF debts. And then the back page we have Okidi, heartbreak. Shabana coach disappointed after conceding late in draw against Tusker. They were actually beating Tusker and then kaboom! A late goal. All right, we got to bring down the curtains on the show this morning. Remember at 9, we got Your Faith Today, where we strengthen your faith. We strengthen each other's faith. And then at 2 p.m., we'll have Manukato, where, we'll check out what is happening in the music industry, and at the same time, some preachings in it with Teddy and DJ Show. So stick around, we see how this is going to go down.